First of all, understand that buried treasure chests, they're rare, and unless you're running like 15 Minecrafts at once, you're not going to spawn next to one very often. But to do it, hold shift, press F3. In the bottom right, we're going to press the numbers associated with game renderer, level, entity. So in my case, it was 2, 1, 1. Go into your video settings, change your render distance down to 5, turn your entity distance down to 50%. Then hold F3 and press G. This will open chunk borders. The basic idea is that when you look in a chunk with a chest, your pie chart in the bottom right is gonna spike up. The orange bit specifically. You'll see as I slowly move my screen, as soon as my screen shows this chunk, the buried treasure chest is gonna spike up that pie chart. In our case, I'm looking at this blue line because that is the edge of the chunk. Boom, it spikes up. You guys see that? You'll also have to make sure that you refresh the pie chart every time. So if I look at it and I look away, it's still going to show large. So just hold shift and press F3 again to reset it. Also, if you ever mess up your pie chart, just press 0 a whole bunch. It'll take you back to the beginning and you can do your 2, 1, 2, 1 thingy. That's pretty much the idea. So I'm always just going to be looking at the right side of my screen and that pie chart at the same time. I see it spike and I'm like, okay, I take note. I'm like, okay, that's where like the edge of the chunk is. But sometimes you'll see that like chunk border in the distance might be really close to that blue line, and you can't tell if it was this chunk or that chunk way off in the distance. So you'll basically like try and tap this edge. You're like, okay, that's where one edge is. Now refresh it and let's try to tap that other edge. So we'll like go like this and I'll see, oh, okay, it's like changing at like this chunk line. So it's probably this chunk. If you want to check to see if it's the right chunk, if you're standing generally towards the center of the chunk and you like refresh your pie chart and it's still big and you like turn around and keep refreshing and it's big the whole time, you know you're in the right chunk. Since your render distance is at 5, you're only gonna be able to detect buried treasures within 5 chunks of you. Another thing to mention, since the buried treasure chest in this chunk is gonna be like really low since it's like a deep ocean, if you're looking too high and you spin around, you're not gonna be detecting it. So like if you're in the right chunk, look a little bit lower. But in our case, I think it's the right chunk. From here, we just look at this line of code where it says chunk. There's a 6 and a 9 right here. It's basically XYZ coordinates. So this is X, Y, Z. Y doesn't matter because that's like how high up you are in the world. That 15 doesn't matter. You just want to go make these numbers both 9, 9. So in our case, boom, I'm at 9, 9. If we go down, break this block. Oh, I was on the wrong block. Okay, yeah, if we were on 9, 9, boom, I break this block, there's a buried treasure chest. Like you saw, though, it's kind of hard to tell if you're on 9, 9. Honestly, some top-level speedrunners have a hard time finding 9, 9, because you're like, okay, what direction do I need to move to increase my numbers? Oh, wait, this is confusing. Where am I in the chunk? I sort of, like, invented this. I like to look at this blue and red line, because they're always going to be facing the same direction. Both colors, if you go in that direction, they increase your numbers, and you can kind of tell where you are in the chunk relative to it, because if you see, like, the lines and you're like, okay, it's this corner of the chunk, let me line myself up. That's what I like to do. There's a lot of caveats though, because this relies on your pie chart detecting block entities, so you're not only going to be detecting buried treasure chests. If there's a spawner in the area, so like a monster spawner, you're going to pick up those signals as well. If there's a shipwreck, it's going to pick up those chests. So sometimes I'll lower my render distance if I think I'm really close to the buried treasure chest to try to clean up my render, unload like any buried treasure chests or monster spawners. It's really tricky to do in an actual run though. So this is an example world that I had. When I loaded into this world, I checked for the spikes. I see that the spike generally happened when my monitor turned that way. So I'm going to refresh it, try to touch that other edge. Boom, it spikes up. And since my like right side screen spiked like here and my left side screen spiked like here, it's probably pretty far away. So I'm going to go swimming. As soon as I enter this chunk, I'll probably do the check again, because if I'm in the right chunk, I can tell. Gonna go even further, double check. Okay, this is really far away. Am I in the right chunk? Okay, I'm spinning around, refreshing. It looks like it's the right chunk. Let me look at my blue and red lines, line myself up. Okay, I'm on 9, 9. Let's go down. And in lots of cases, you'll see that there's like some stone jutting out. This just like, you can guarantee that it's a buried treasure chest if you see that sort of generation. So I'll break the block. Boom, I got my buried treasure. Oh, also beyond version 1.16.1. That's the fastest version for Minecraft speedrunning. And in later versions, the pie chart kind of breaks. As well as terrain generation. They can only spawn on beaches. So you can check your biome thing here. This one is forest, so I know there couldn't be a buried treasure chest on this block. So you can kind of look at the terrain and be like, okay, this is the only beach chunk. So like, it's not going to be this chunk over here because there's like no beach area. It's not going to be out in the ocean, and it's not going to be like super inland because there's going to be like forest. Honestly, best way to practice, just load a new Minecraft world and just do /locate buried treasure. Go a couple chunks away and just kind of get a feel for what these spikes look like. There are a lot of tricks to it though, and if you want to see somebody like actually learn how to do it and maybe make some mistakes that you would, I taught Sandiction a while ago. He's pretty good at finding buried treasures now. So if you guys want to see that video, let me know. Maybe I'll post it. That's pretty much it. Okay, peace.